Premium Ceylon Tea. Thank you so much for the sponsorship, FMF. Of course, एक और एपिसोड लेकर आज हम उपस्थित हो गए हैं. And this episode, I have no other than a very well-known director, I must say, because apparently I watched his episode, and this is about the English episode Forget Me Not. The episode, it has got 6 different segments, and each segment has a story to tell. And आज हमारे पास, of course, we had time. He didn't have time, but still हमने उनको बुलाया, and he agreed. He is no other than Immanuel Manu, जो कि हमारे मैजिक फैक्ट्री जो है उसके एक वन ऑफ द सदस्य हैं. Immanuel, स्वागत है, welcome.
Thank you, Satya.
And great achievement, I must say.
Thank you, शुक्रिया.
शुक्रिया.
हमारा हिंदी बहुत अच्छा नहीं है,
but अच्छा, चले. It should be okay.
तुम पास करना.
I'll try and overlap for you. But that episode itself, I mean, the whole program, it takes 6 episodes, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
6
6
different segments.
Yeah,
right. And you have compiled and getting that casting thing. Was it tough? I mean, when you say Forget Me Not, but you have got 6 different stories, 6 stories to tell. Was it tough? I mean, getting the cast?
I think that was the toughest part of the whole process. आदमी लोग तो बहुत बात नहीं मांगे ना.
I mean, they don't want to tell their story.
I think it's hard enough for men to talk, no?
Right.
So to ask them to talk in front of a camera is even harder. So it took a lot of convincing. It took a lot of meetings and meeting them personally. उलोंग अपन स्टोरी बताया.
So was there anything scripted, anything like that, or it was just on the table?
On the table. Just following, just asking questions, and then just asking general questions of.
Carried on the questions, right, one after the other.
But then they, within the interview, they share a bit of their story, and then you get interested, and we started to venture into that. Tell us more about this.
To start off, I had actually watched all of them, and I wanted to see it again just to go into depth of the whole thing. गहराई में जानने का दिल करता था. But there was one very senior person, and he was more to do with talking about his daughter who had gone through the drugs and all those issues. How did you manage to convince him that this would be the right platform? कैसे उसको convince किया?
So the late Reverend Simeon Tungi, very great man. Very great man.
Very open रहा ना?
Because he's an advocate. He was an advocate against drugs.
Right.
So he came on Fiji Village Straight Talk with Vijay Narayan, and then in that interview he shared his story, and then from there we found out that that's when he said that his daughter is battling against drugs.
Talking about his daughter, the process. And the daughter missing from home for so many days, and then suddenly she's found at the police station or somewhere else. That was tough for him, right?
Yeah.
Very tough.
And I think for him, because since he's advocating against drugs, he was battling, trying to reform his daughter,
right?
Help his daughter. And then when we met him, we wanted to ask more about him. And at first the conversation was more about drugs, how it's affecting, and we were talking about mental health. And then when he was talking about his daughter, then we asked him, we actually doing a piece on men's mental health, and you as a parent, as a father, we want you to tell your story about that, because other parents should know, because you're not the only one. No?
Right.
It would be really great if other parents could know that what you went through, and they could relate, and they can have come together, make a forum, and
the end product, of course, we're going to talk about it later on. But right now, when you looked at people who have gone through the family, the drugs, the stigma and all those things. ये सब चीज संगे उसके संगे जुड़ा है. So when you were compiling this, were you aware that this will be the end result, or this is where I'm going to lead to? And when you you have done it, the whole thing, what was the back of your mind? Why are you preparing this? What is the real motive of this? ये सब चीज वो किया था और
तो basically as I mentioned, आदमी लोग बहुत बात नहीं करे ना, and then silence usually means there's no confrontation.
Right.
तुम कुछ शेयर नहीं करेगा, people ने कुछ जानी नहीं, ऐसे for example अगर तुम हमें नहीं जानता, तो हमें मार्केट में मिला, हम कुछ aggressively act करा, तुम लगा ये कैसे ना
कभी-कभी हमसे बहुत aggressive रहता है।
अरे नहीं अबे अगर हम कुछ कर दे तो हमें जानता नहीं, it's very easy to judge you ना, but like if you know तुम्हारे साथ तुम you going through something, तुम्हारे साथ eBay है या तुम्हारे दिमाग में ये चीज है, तुम understand कर लेगा अच्छा साइट ऐसे है। So you know we don't know that, so it's very easy for men to be under the crosshairs ना कि
judgmental हो जाते हैं, right? बहुत जल्द।
तो हम लोग बात नहीं करते, हम लोग बताता नहीं कि हम लोग के दिमाग में कौन चाहिए, तो obviously people don't easily judge कर my actions.
So have you managed to pick out why men don't talk about this?
I think because stigma ना, stigma is a thing. First of all, हम लोग डरता है कि
or is it that it affects their ego or things like
ego
that?
is a big thing. All men have ego. Even now, you know you and I.
I don't have ego.
So like we have, like if you picture एक mold है ना,
right.
एक mold एक perfect shape है.
Right.
That's basically हम लोग के societal viewpoint. और वो मोल्ड में हम लोग मनता फिट करे, we trying to fit ourselves in that mold. अगर नहीं फिट होता हम लोग imperfect होता, and that makes us like outcasts, like we're out of the mold. तो वही चीज हम लोग के community है, right? हम लोग ट्राई करता फिट करे के, we're trying to be so perfect, but हम लोग we can't fit into it. हम लोग accept नहीं करता कि हम लोग imperfect, and that you know we play this game in our mind कि okay I have to fit this standard, I have to fit this stereotype, otherwise I have to be, you know, I want people to perceive me this way, but just be real with yourself.
This is the first time big direction में आपने गए, छोटे मोटे में तो आपने पहले किया, right? But this is a bigger direction. Actually it's what about 1 hour full 6 episode, right?
7 to 8 minutes or like 30-40 minutes.
Right, when you look at it, you did it. Then you figure out, okay, did you get any overseas help or someone to guide you?
Oh yeah, so basically how this thing started off was I really owe it to Vijay Narayan and our general manager Charles Taylor, because हमने push करी ना कि एक content fund पीछे apply करो, we can apply and do something with it. Right. So constantly every day मैं नेक करता रहा ना, करा कि नहीं, fill नहीं करा, form भेजा कि नहीं, तो अब सोचता बैठ के चाम कुंजी करिए ना, like what could I do that you know they'd be interested in funding and people would be interested in watching. Like कोई possible issue है जो हम लोग सकता pursue करें, जो people नहीं जाने हैं या जाने हैं कि कुछ करें इसके बारे में. तो first it was mental health, because you know Fiji में mental health एक stigma है, कोई के पास कोई psychosocial issue है, बहुत तो के इंडियन फिजियन कम्युनिटी में वो लोग सोच एक स्टिग्मा है कि वो पगला है, you know, yeah, it has that very negative impact to it. तो वो चीज़ हम तरह एक्सप्लोर करें. So after meeting a lot of people, हम realize करा कि mental health, usually most of the people who are affected by mental health are men. तो हम बोला अच्छा, like you know maybe right now I think we should tackle this issue. ये story बताओ. And then maybe because that's the strongest now, like the majority of the stigma.
But within the mental health, there are different stories, right? It's not just a general mental,
right?
But there are other stories attached to it, no?
Well, I think launch screening में बोला रहा ना कि just because it's not just a men's mental health awareness, it is also a mental health awareness, right? It's not just men telling their stories. कोई भी जन उन लोग की story देखी, औरत लड़का वो लोग से relate करें, because it's not just a man's story, it's a human story. And I think that's another narrative that people should look at. Like if there's a woman who's sharing a story, don't look at it just a woman's issue, no? Like there could be something in her story that you can relate to.
Right, exactly.
Because if you're human, you can relate to anybody.
Right, एक छोटा सा break लेते हैं. FMF, the finest premium Ceylon tea. Thank you so much once again for your support.
Every morning, wake up with a smile. With FMF tea, it's all worth the while. Hey, 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 it's an FMF day. Tea time is calling, you need a quick fix. With FMF tea, you have the right mix. Hey, 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 it's the FMF way.
FMF Finest Ceylon Tea is second to none.
Hey, 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 FMF all the way.
You had also played a role in it. I mean, because part of the casting was you also told your story. What made you sort of like change and say, okay, I want to be part of this story? I mean, I do understand you went through a sort of like situation like that, but overall, were your mind clear that I am going to tell my story?
I think देखो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल people लोग जब ऐसा story share करे,
Right.
like you're entrusted with it, na, and that's a really big pressure on you. It's they're trusting me with their story. हम कैसे सकता justify करे, justice दे लोग story.
Right.
How do I do it well, na? At the same time, I am the one who's asking them to tell their story.
But you're not telling your story.
But like if I didn't tell my story, it just seems like I'm just I don't want to feel like, or in my mind,
Right.
in my own, to have my own sense of peace, I didn't want to feel like I'm using them to tell their story and giving them this platform कि हम कुछ कर रहा है.
Right.
I want it to be impactful, and it can't be impactful enough if हम अपने नहीं story बताते हैं ना. First of all, the people who shared their story would know that they trusted it on someone who's also sharing a story.
Sharing their story.
At the same time, I'm someone who's I genuinely, that's just to show I genuinely care about this campaign. We have to talk about it.
Forget me not, it carries 6 different stories. Was there any time while you were shooting, I mean, you got too emotional about the whole thing, or with anybody's story, whether it was yours or anybody sort of like got too emotional?
I think, apart from mine, obviously, because when I was being interviewed by Vijay, I was trying hard not to cry because I really didn't want.
But even during your presentation, I saw your sort of like facial reaction. That was during the launch I'm talking about. You got very emotional about the whole thing, and I feel sorry for it. But at the same time, I said this is something, a learning point, or there is a lesson to learn.
Because I've made peace with it, right? Because it's been how many years, but then to share it with my mom, and then हम अपन mom के देखता रहा जब वो video देखे, then she was getting a bit emotional because she didn't know that happened, na? And then I feel like hopefully in her mind she doesn't feel like she failed as a parent because हम लोग का reality different, right now we made peace with it happened, but like we can move on from it, like at least it's there on the table, and then we can learn from it, move on from it, be better people. Na? That's his opportunity for that.
After watching the first sort of when it was done, was there kitchen talk? I mean, mom spoke to you and sort of like apologized, or was there any scenario she sort of regretted certain times or things like that?
Well, she did say, she's sorry that happened, but I don't think she has to apologize. Because, at the end
it wasn't her fault.
It wasn't her fault. Like, हम लोग के circumstances, such we as people, na?
Right.
हम लोग, if, for example, if आदमी औरत शादी करे, right? वो लोग एक दूसरे से पटे नहीं है. If you don't get that right, you lose sight of your own children, right? You're busy battling each other. But then it's a human thing, right? Like हम अपन दिल में, I had hate, I had grudges कि हमारा life ऐसे रहा. But then better, I realized later on, हम लोग सब कोई इंसान है, right? We all make mistakes, and that's a very important thing to accept. Acceptance of that is very important. तब आगे जाके तुम्हारी healing रही. That's what I.
You have sort of like told your story, and within that story there is another villainous character who sort of had that role. Did you ever face to face person? उनसे कभी ऐसे मुलाकात हुई, ऐसे face to face?
Time and again, yes. कभी I've met him outside. Some point street में चले
on the sort of like streets,
and acknowledges me, like hey कैसे, like oh said, but like in my mind like हम सोचते हैं कि तुम याद करता कि नहीं ना.
Right.
But at the same time, like,
do you have that hatred in you?
No. Forgiveness है कि हमारा बस के नहीं रहा. I mean he हो ही गया ना.
He took advantage of the situation.
हम like कौन सी कैसे बताए?
No, but it is just that you have moved forward, right? You've moved on with your life.
Because गुस्सा like तुम लोग घूमेगा कौन सी करी.
You won't be able to do anything.
तुम आगे बढ़ेगा नहीं. गुस्सा ऐसे how I look at it is एक रकम के बोझ है, घड़ू बोझ है. तुम लोग पकड़े रहेगा तुम आगे चल नहीं पाएगा. And you are stuck with it. The stories that have gone. What main thing that you have picked up out of all the stories? I mean, because there are 6 different stories, na? One is of course exploitation, and the other one is drugs. But what is the main? That there are people suffering, right? I think 2 things. First of all, it's very important to talk about it. Na? एक लड़का बात करता है अपन identity के बारे में. To try, he's from mixed blood. But to उसके main चीज़ है कि अपन family share नहीं कर सकता. He had loving parents, na? Very supportive. But to अपन issue अपने आप के लुका कर रखे था, अपने आप से deal करता रहा. once वो बोली जब वो share करिस तब like it was easier ना like there was a whole big relief. So it's very important to share. Like even for me, जब mom find out now it's like I feel like from now we can heal, move forward. Excuse me. Second, the other thing is, which is another important thing I'm not kara ki most of them come from broken homes.
Right.
And it's very important to have a healthy family, a healthy, healthy home, especially admi logon ke role.
Right.
And I think like nowadays admi logon ke chahiye, really take on their responsibility as men. There's expectations, they have, and I know the ones who do take responsibility, उन लोगों के भी दिमाग में बहुत है ना, they have a lot on their mind. Like, try and share it, try and talk about it. Like if you're going through something, I don't think हम लोग के चाहिए डरे कि हम लोग शेयर करेगा, हम लोग कुछ ही बोले weak है, कमजोर है.
हाँ, इससे कुछ नहीं है. But we have to tell our story because we are not the only one. There are hundreds of people. कई सौ लोग हैं जो कई हजार लोग हैं जो शायद इससे होकर गुजर रहे हैं, बट वो बोल नहीं रहे हैं. एंड द होल आइडिया शायद आपका यही होगा कि यू गुड टू स्टैंड अप. इफ आई एम करेक्ट?
या, just voice it out, ना?
Voice it out. So what's next after this? Forget Me Not is one of them. What is more to it?
Well, we're trying to look now. I'm trying to see more human stories. Like there's a lot that's happening in Fiji right now, na? Like abhi dekho, for example, drugs la situation chale hai. A lot of people are suffering from that, na? Reverend Tungi's story is very strong, inspiring, and successful, na? But then there are other stories as well that we want to look at, just to fight the issues that are happening, na? But like I'm also thinking about exploring, talking to veterans, army veterans, military himself करी से, वो लोग कौन सी experience करी से, फिर like what happened, उनके family life कैसे रहा, how do they, There's a lot of things, a lot of issues I want to explore.
Right. From the day it was started till today, I mean, it has ended, now it has been released, now it has been launched. Do you think you have done justice to all the subjects? आपने justice किया है या you could have done better?
I think the first thing हम जब before launching, हम लोग each participants के link भेजा ना कि अच्छा देख लो जाइस पहले. I just want to know if you're happy before I do it ना, कुछ तुम लोग के नहीं अच्छा लगी, there's no point.
No point, yeah.
Then they were all happy with it. Alright, when we screened it.
Consent मिला उनका?
हाँ. The friends and family ला screening रहा, तो लोग अपन family लोग के लगे दिखाई से, and they were all emotional and impact रहा ना. So that to me was okay. It's successful, but at the same time, like what success looks like to me from this project, like it's not going to be overnight. Over time, na. This is supposed to be a prompt, कोई solution नहीं है. Like it's prompting. ये आदमी लोग share करें ना. Let's start a discussion. And then in that discussion you can have a conversation. फिर over time, the आदमी लोगों के जो stigma है कि वो हम share करेगा हम कमजोर है, थोड़ा hopefully we're trying to eliminate that.
Okay. Now, because of this, the interest, the subjects it carries, lots of people will stand up and say, I want to be part of the next one. I mean, or they want to tell their story. या वो कोई और story बताते हैं या कोई के बारे में जिक्र करना चाहते हैं. Where is that common ground where these people can come out and say, okay, right, Manuji, I want to be part of this?
I think, like, you don't really have to wait for me to do anything.
Right.
I think if you want to do something like,
but they prefer because you have done the groundwork, you have done the structure, the whole thing. Implement करने वाली बात आ गई. सबको अभी उसको फिर से करना थोड़ा tough पड़ेगा because you have got the system in place.
Yeah, but like to make it impactful, ना कि हम main cause है कि आदमी लोगों बात करो. Like if you want to tell your story, ना, just tell it. Like share करो. Like we want men to be starting this conversation, and the more numbers add हुई, आदमी लोग देखी और आदमी लोग share करे, stigma like over time eradicating, like it's normalizing and normalizing it.
There was a lot of talk earlier on because within the country लोग बात कर रहे थे. I'm talking about years back. कि women's crisis center तो है. Do you think there is now chance for her to have a men's crisis center?
Possibility है. I think that's a debate, right? This is an ongoing debate. But what I can say is basically like I'm glad that women have a lot of facilities for them. Na? Men are perpetrators of most violence, most domestic violence, crime. औरत लोगों को काफी चीज से है. They get physically, men get physically violent with women. Their domestic violence cases है. But they have facilities for women to come out, to speak, and be protected, na?
Yeah.
But आदमी लोगन के, I'm not saying they should be protected. They should be if they're feeling unsafe. But I'm saying like, you know, तुम एक side of the solution देखता है, that's solving half the problem.
Right.
Like अच्छा यहाँ पे आदमी लोगन काय से
You need to see both sides.
Just figure out why it's doing it. तुम बार-बार, you know, pointing fingers at the problem,
Yeah.
and instead of asking question why is it happening, so how is it going to solve the problem? Na?
You had support from ABC, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Right. So ABC supported,
Yes.
right? Then you have the Communication Fiji Limited on their platform of Magic Factory. Done. Casting done. Do you think the government is aware of what you have done? Or have you discussed it with them? Or whether they're willing to sort of relook at some of the subjects or something? Or that is something to be discussed?
I think that's something to be discussed, but we've usually talked with NGOs, na? And I like to also thank Jackie Tennage and...
you had an expert in that, right?
Really a triple Emmy award winner.
Right.
She used to work for Hollywood.
You're so lucky.
Very lucky, actually.
Yes.
I had no idea because ABC, when they said, do you need someone to, you know, to be a content advisor? I was like, yeah, just, you know. And they suggested Jackie. I was like, yeah, I would like to work with her. But हमने अंतर किया कौन है? बाद में पता चला triple Emmy award winner.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna be learning something, na?
Yeah, definitely, of course. Now, my final question is: are you happy with the result that you have sort of like portrayed right now?
I'm so far I am happy. I'm happy with the response that, you know, that it's being accepted. It's कोई reject नहीं करे idea, right? But I know, I mean, even you know, there'll be somebody commenting.
Of course, there plus and
this,
minus situation to रहता है. It's never smooth sailing sometimes, especially when it's the new thing that's coming up. So what are do you think that sort of like to promote it heavily, what are your intentions or things like that? I mean, I do understand through this program I can be promoting big time.
I think you can have programs on your show to talk about it. ना आदमी लोग कॉल करके बात करो. I mean, obviously rant नहीं करो कि वो हम और ऐसे बोली समझो. But like बताओ कि तुम्हारे दिमाग में कौन चीज़ ना कौन चीज़ कब ऐसे चीज़ तुम्हारे साथ भेजूं तुम्हें बोधा करे. Like have maybe some shows or maybe create forums ना.
What's your wife's reaction?
Well, very supportive.
Very supportive.
Very supportive. She was. I don't think this कुछ ऐसे नहीं रहा कि हम नहीं share करा उससे.
Right. So you told him from the beginning that you...
I think I was more concerned about my mom or my sister's reaction because they were the ones who went through this with me, na? And then the detail of the story that I'm sharing, so I don't know how they were going to respond, and I didn't want to make them feel like we're attacked because I'm attacked. Obviously, we went through this, we suffered together, na?
Exactly.
So I was just worried about that.
But indeed, I must say you have done very wonderful work, and I have a full support for this. And I congratulate you for all your effort, and I'm quite sure people will watch it. लोग देखेंगे, उसको समझेंगे. There's 6 different subjects जो आपको समझना होगा, and 6 different people जिन लोगों ने अपने stories अलग-अलग तरीके से दिया है. It has got a very strong message. Okay, let's not forget the men's side, right? Because they also have issues. But Immanuel, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I'm quite sure people will love it. Looking forward to more.
Oh, definitely. One question though.
Yeah.
तुम कभी सोचा रहा कि तुम एक बड़ा डायरेक्टर?
That's my question.
Oh, sorry.
Right, but I never thought that I would be sitting with a director.
I'm just joking. I'm तो छोटा मोटा.
That's okay, man. Thank you.
Thank you.